Hey Leo, welcome to your July 2020 tarot reading. I'm just going to go ahead and get started right away. So the first card you have is the Three of Pentacles. And what I'm feeling from this card for you at the beginning of the month is you really are wanting recognition for work that you're doing or wanting to do. But you haven't really put in all the work that's really 100% necessary to get this recognition that you really want. And it kind of feels like you might be a little bit sloppy in your work. You might be producing like mediocre work. You might just not be feeling that good. Maybe you are just feeling a little tired or unmotivated or feeling a little lazy. But it just feels like you're cutting corners and not carrying your full load of work that you should be doing. And I feel like this is going to become obvious to you at the beginning of the month because you'll see a finished product of yours and you will know right away that it didn't live up to its full potential, and you're going to be disappointed in that. So the advice I'm getting for this card is that don't be content with mediocrity in your work. You might need more training in a certain area or experience in a work area. And what this will do is I feel like it'll help your enthusiasm and drive to do the work. It's almost like there's gaps in your knowledge or holes in your skills. And it's affecting how you feel about your work. I feel like you would feel so much better if you kind of just stopped and took some time to do maybe some continuing education of some sort or reading a book related to a work topic of something you're working on. It could be a project, not necessarily a job. Yeah, I feel like this will help you get more excited about your work, get you more into it. You need something to kind of get you more excited about your work. Definitely feel that for you very strongly. So I feel like you need to step away from the work and do something work related that will get you excited about it again. Not the actual work though. So something in your field to just get that passion going again. So the next card you have is the Tower. And for you right now, it feels like there was already a Tower moment. And for those of you who don't know, a Tower moment, it could be like a sudden change or big transformation that kind of is, it could be seen as catastrophic or just totally life-changing. I feel like you already had a Tower moment in the recent past. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but something that changed your outlook or view on things. So what I'm feeling from this card is that you're kind of not changing from that event, whatever it was. So some time has passed, but you haven't really done anything about it, if that makes sense. For some of you, it could be some monetary losses for a few of you, but I don't feel that for most of you. Maybe some monetary losses that you haven't like fully faced and dealt with. But for the vast majority of you, it's just you're not really you're avoiding the necessary changes from the Tower moment. You know that it's there always in the back of your head, but you don't want to deal with it. You're avoiding it. You don't, it's almost like the change happened and then you knew you had to do something, so you started building your life or something, but it was like a house on sand. You tried to do something really fast and quickly that wasn't really quality work, which goes back to the Three of Pentacles energy that I was just talking about. It's related. So I don't need to tell you this. I know you know this, but you can't run away from the Tower occurrence. It's going to make things worse. The more that time passes, the harder it's going to get. You know, we all know this. So this month, you're being called to analyze your life and see how your life or the situation, the foundation is weak or lacking in some way. And it feels really strongly that you need to start over from scratch on something. I know most of us don't like to hear that. It sounds overwhelming and daunting. But I know a part of you kind of knows what I'm talking about if this applies to you. You know deep inside of you that that's true, that you have to start over. You can't keep building on this weak foundation. You just need to start over brand new, just totally brand new. So the next card you have is the Eight of Swords. And when you realize that you need to start over, it feels overwhelming to you. And that's totally normal. I mean, that would be overwhelming to almost any of us. You know, this idea of starting over on something that maybe has been going on for a long time. It's like you feel like you can't move. If you look at the person in this card, they're paralyzed, they can't move. It feels like an impossible task. But I don't know if you could see, but in the card in the background, there's some rays of light coming from those dark clouds. So there is hope, and this card is all about being imprisoned in your mind. So this fear is in your head, and any moment you can choose to free yourself and release yourself from this. It's totally up to you. You can. At any moment you can start to release yourself. Yeah, this card is often referred to as the paralysis of analysis card. Sorry for the rhyme. But it's showing that it's self-imposed. It's not real. It's you over-analyzing and overthinking something. It's all mental energy, right? Swords are all about mental states and energy. There could have been some unforeseen events around you that made you feel trapped, but even if that was the case, you're still overthinking, and that's keeping you trapped. You could have, you know, you're blaming yourself maybe. You have some self-limiting beliefs. For some of you, you might even be surrendering your power to someone else just because you don't want to deal with some situation. So because it's swords, I'll say that the way to get out of this is by using your logic. Truth and reason will get you out of this. You need to reason with yourself, okay? You don't want to be in your emotions about this. Not you, and not this month. Yeah. Also, the Eight of Swords is also about doing something fast. Like releasing yourself quickly is really important. And if you take that first step to loosen these knots, you're going to get a quicker than expected release. You're going to, so the advice is to move quickly. Do not wait. And to move quickly from your intellect, not your emotions, is the advice. But if you take that first step, you're going to be like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And you're going to feel some relief. And you're going to feel just like it's so much easier to keep going in handling the situation. So the next card you have is the World. And when you start over on this issue or problem or circumstance, and you get out of operating out of your emotions, you're going to have a brand new beginning for yourself. For some of you, it might be a change of location, physically or otherwise. You're going to have success in some area. Recognition for others comes up for me right now too. That might be important for you. So this World card is the flip side to what you're going through, right? There's going to be many possibilities and options for you because you're free now. If you look at the woman in this card, she's totally free, suspended in air. She's just total freedom. So when you do move forward, I do see that there's some delay in this journey of yours that you need to go through. It almost feels like you might set unrealistic goals. So again, yeah, it's like you're being too hard on yourself and you want results really fast. Yeah, setting unrealistic expectations on yourselves and maybe others. So once again, the suffering is totally self-imposed because you're not letting yourself go through the normal steps and process of growth, of taking time and building something from the ground up with a really strong foundation. You're trying, I'm seeing toward the middle end of the month, you're still trying to do something the fast, sloppy way, for lack of a better word. So again, like I said, the advice is very similar to earlier. You need to start from scratch. There's no other way out of this, Leo. Examine what's holding you back, okay? It's the attitudes and beliefs that you have. So I see I do see in this card that you're taking the steps to do what you need to do, but the progress is slow, and it's all about your view on that. Someone with a different attitude might be making the same amount of progress and have a totally different attitude, like, oh, I'm doing good, but you're like, no, it's not fast enough. And I see you getting discouraged by that. And you might even just give up and feel like you don't want to finish. Yeah, you always want quick results. It's like a Leo thing, and I think it's just a fire sign thing in general too. So I think the lesson to learn here is slow and steady wins for long-lasting, real, substantive changes. That's like your lesson for July, Leo. So at the end of the month, here we got the Eight of Pentacles. It kind of feels like we're back where we started with the Three of Pentacles. It's a little bit better, but I feel like there's a misunderstanding. You are misunderstanding the right way to do this. It almost feels like, okay, I'm not going to be emotional anymore. I'm only going to be logical. And then in doing that, you go from one extreme to another. I'm also feeling some vanity, like over concern with how things look instead of their true quality or function. You might get into like a little obsessive mode, like you're moving on something, but now it's one extreme to another where you're trying to, it's like a perfectionism thing. And that's not good either. I mean, you know that. You don't need me to tell you that. So the advice is to put in the needed time and effort to do the job well done, but don't expect perfection from yourself. It's just not realistic, Leo. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? Just work slow and steady and stop beating yourself up is what I'm feeling really strongly. Yeah. And yeah, you're being asked to focus on a long-term gains, not short-term, not how you feel in the moment, not how it looks, not being perfect, just working slow and steady for long-term gains is your biggest lesson this month. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, Leo. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if this video resonated with you, you can leave a comment below to let me know. Thanks, Leo. Bye.